Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today we're diving into a dramatic and intense event, the drone strikes by Ukraine hitting Moscow. Yes, those billion-dollar towers on fire. We'll walk through the exterior visuals, the interior what little we have access to, the performance of the strike, safety features in the sense of why and how defenses failed or succeeded, the unique selling points of the story, why it matters, price in a metaphorical sense, the cost, lives and infrastructure, and then wrap up with a conclusion of what this means going forward. Imagine this: night falls over Moscow, the skyline illuminated by glowing fires, high-rise towers engulfed in flames, sirens wailing, beams of anti-drone fire slicing through the sky. This is not a movie, it is real. In the early hours, multiple drones believed to be launched by Ukraine sweep into Russian territory, targeting major infrastructure and high-value urban assets. The shock waves ripple through the political world. The cameras catch the orange blaze reflected on glass towers, alarm bells in the city center, flight diversions at the airport, and residents fleeing into bomb shelters. The story hooks you because it hits a nerve. The war is no longer just in fields and cities far from capitals. It has reached Moscow's towers. With that we go deep. First, exterior. Picture the skyline of Moscow at dusk, tall corporate towers, glass facades shimmering, the familiar silhouette of the Kremlin off in the distance. Suddenly, explosions erupt, flames bursting through the upper levels of one skyscraper, glass shards raining down, smoke billowing into the night sky. Emergency vehicles race past, drones buzz overhead. In one view you see a drone strike impacting a luxury high-rise, sheets of glass breaking, interior lighting flickering, chaos below. Another shows an industrial complex near Moscow's outer ring, plumes of black smoke rising from a drone hit. Outside, airports are shut down, air defense systems scramble, power lines flicker. The physical landscape of Moscow has changed overnight. The sense of vulnerability is palpable. The capital, previously considered relatively safe from direct strikes, is exposed. The exterior visuals deliver the drama: towers ablaze, the city under aerial threat, civilians caught in the crossfire of geopolitics. It raises the question: when a nation's core infrastructure or capital is attacked, the war transcends the front line and touches the heart of national identity. Next, the interior. Although access to inside the towers is limited, we can infer what it looks like. Scorched ceilings, sprinklers activated, emergency lighting blinking, charred elevator shafts, glass littering the floors, employees evacuated in panic, first responders wading through smoke. Maybe a boardroom with the windows blown out, papers scattered, and the skyline burning behind. Offices turned into disaster zones. A luxury apartment building's lobby blackened by fire. Residents huddled in corridors. The interior story is short but potent. Corporate luxury meets wartime damage. This blend underscores how civilian infrastructure and commercial high-rises are not immune in modern conflict. Even the plush towers of wealth and power can become front-line collateral. Performance. How did the strike perform? The reports say that Ukrainian drones launched into the Moscow region caught Russian defenses by surprise. According to one major outlet, over 200 drones were intercepted in a mass wave, with dozens reaching closer to Moscow's skyline. The attack caused real interruptions. Airports temporarily shut, power substations damaged, towers caught fire. For example, an earlier strike damaged power infrastructure in the Sergiev Posad district near Moscow. The performance of the strike demonstrates a shift. Drones are no longer just nuisance weapons at the edge of conflict. They are precision tools capable of reaching deep into enemy territory, targeting high-value urban infrastructure. The sequence: launch, penetration, impact, chaos. The fact that Moscow's towers, symbols of power and stability, were hit elevates the performance to a psychological level, beyond mere physical damage. This shows how aerial unmanned systems drones are redefining modern warfare. It also shows the deficiency or stress in air defense systems. If a capital's towers can be hit, risk calculations must change. Safety features. In a war context, safety features mean the defenses, the redundancies, the protective systems in place. For Moscow and Russia, air defenses around the capital are extensive. Layered missile shields, radar systems, early warning networks, strategic asset hardening. Despite this, the drone wave got through, meaning either the volume overwhelmed the system, or the system was outmaneuvered, or perhaps both. Reports show Russia claimed to have shot down many drones, e.g., Russia's defense ministry said over 143 drones were shot down during a Ukraine-targeted strike, some over the Moscow region, yet still, damage occurred. From Ukraine's side, this suggests careful planning, using swarms, exploiting gaps, hitting at night, diversions, perhaps jamming or decoy techniques. The safety feature on the attacking side, the drones themselves may have redundancy, low radar signature, kamikaze style. From the defender's side, the lesson is that high-value targets like towers must now assume risk and adopt layered counter drone systems, improved sensors, hardened structures, rapid evacuation protocols. For civilians inside these towers, safety protocols mean alarms, evacuation routes, roof access, fire suppression. All must now contend with the possibility of aerial strike, not just fire or earthquake. Unique selling points of this story. First, it is symbolically powerful. The war has arrived at the symbolic heart of Russia, deep in Moscow's skyline. That fact alone shifts perceptions of the war from distant to domestic. Second, it shows the maturation of drone warfare. These are not prototype toys, but real operational tools capable of high-impact strikes inside enemy capitals. Third, the target, billion-dollar towers, commercial high-rises, infrastructure not traditionally militarized, showing the blurring of civilian/commercial and military targets in modern conflict. Fourth, the psychological effect, millions watching their capital, once thought safe under aerial threat. This war narrative changes morale, governance, economics. Fifth, the cost to infrastructure and business, insurance risk, capital flight, reputational damage to real estate sectors, increased security costs. Sixth, the ripple effect, flight cancellations, power blackouts, evacuation of commercial tenants, disruption of normal urban life. This is war invading daily routine. Seventh, geopolitical ripple, allies and adversaries watching, sanctions, responses, escalation risk. All these make the story compelling to viewers not just for the spectacle, but for the implications. Price cost. The price is enormous, both physical and intangible. On the physical side, damage to multi-million or billion-dollar towers, fire suppression costs, rebuilding glass facades, business interruption, loss of rental income, increased insurance premiums, infrastructure downtime costs, airports diverted, power stations offline, supply chains disrupted. On the human side, even if casualties are low, lives are disrupted, trauma inflicted, civilians displaced. On the geopolitical side, the cost of escalation. One strike could trigger retaliations, expanded war, sanctions. On the strategic side, trust in capital security decreases. Cities may have to spend billions to upgrade defenses, redesign building resilience, adopt evacuation/refuge protocols. On the economic side, real estate values may drop, investors may pull back. On the symbolic side, the cost to national pride, to the sense of invulnerability of a major power's capital. This is a war economy cost as much as combative. In sum, the price tag is not only repair bills but long-term shifts in strategy, defense posture, urban planning, insurance markets, and national morale. Conclusion. This episode marks a watershed moment in the conflict. What we're seeing is not simply another strike. It's a demonstration that the boundaries of war have shifted. Capitals and commercial towers once thought safe are now in the line of fire. Drones have evolved from reconnaissance to strike platforms capable of penetrating sophisticated air defenses and delivering strategic blows to symbolic and commercial infrastructure. For Moscow, this means a moment of reckoning, the need to adapt, protect, harden, and perhaps rethink the very nature of urban defense. For Ukraine, it means demonstrating capability, resolve, and message. You can reach us and we can reach you. For the world, it signals that modern war is urban, high-tech, blurred between civilian and military, and deeply psychological. The towers burning in Moscow are more than property damage. They are signals of changing war dynamics, of vulnerability, of escalation potential. As viewers, we must ask, what comes next? Will capitals invest heavily in anti-drone measures? Will cities redesign high-rises for strike resilience? Will commercial real estate markets in conflict zones collapse? Will the war spread further into civilian infrastructure globally? The price has been paid, and the guardianship of towers may never look the same again. If you found this breakdown compelling, please do hit like, leave a comment with your thoughts. Do you think Moscow will change its defense posture? And if you're new here, subscribe for more Frontline analyses. Thanks for watching.